Alright, here is the Douk Audio U3 headphone amplifier and a video about its surgery, because that's kind of really what I did. I chopped the top off of the case. And just to share with you what I did to it and some modifications that I think can improve the overall functionality of it, both physically and operationally, electrically, I don't know. Anyway, there are three lines of the Douk audio headphone amplifiers. This is the bottom of the barrel, the U3. It comes with a 1/4-inch front headphone connection, input RCA in the back, and a DC power range of 5 to 20 volts. That's key. You need to have at least a 1.5 amp a power supply that can support at least 1.5 amp of draw, and it's on-off switch. The U3 Pro, the differences that I picked up that I recall, there's a 3.5 millimeter jack up front and a 1/4 inch, but it only takes 5 volt in, and I think there's a 3.5 on the back as well. I'm wondering if that's an input. I don't really remember. And then there's the U3 Pro tube amplifier, which is just like the Pro, but it's got tubes. Again, only 5 volts. So anyway, I picked up this one, and I've been slowly replacing my old stereo equipment, the old AB integrated tuner amplifiers that are big. And one thing that I don't like about going to this route is kind of the Frankenstein build of this component, that component, and also they're so lightweight. You go to use them, especially a headphone amp, and you've got to grab onto it to plug in the device or use the device, or it shifts and it gets out of alignment on your shelf. And anyway, I'm building a walnut mini rack, if you will, and what I did to this is I put a 1/4 inch plate of aluminum tapped on the bottom here with silicone adhesive, and then I machined 2 of these knurled brass fasteners to fasten from the underside of the shelf that this will sit on. So now I can just walk up there and plug it in and not have to worry about touching anything. Anyway, let's go on to the surgery here. Out of the box, it worked great. I used a 2 amp or 2.5 amp USB to US to barrel. It actually comes with that, which is nice, and it sounded fine. The headphones I was using, open back Sennheiser Mass Drop Jubilee 58X, and that's a mouthful. I don't know what they're doing with their lineage and lineup, but it sounded fine. Now, I wanted to break this thing open and to see maybe what I can do with it. First of all, they advertise right up front about the operational amplifiers. This one comes with a Texas Instrument NE5532, and it sounded okay. I have swapped it out with a Texas Instrument 2134 PA from their Sound Plus series op amp, and that's this guy here. I did an A and B, and I feel this 2134 is better to my ears. Just the mids and the highs seem to be more clear to me with my older ears. So anyway, I replaced all the JWCO, that's the black ones here, those JWCO, with Nichicon Gold FG, fine gold, audio capacitors. I also took this front fascia off, and I milled the surface so it's aluminum instead of the gold. I don't know what it was, all the gold, and then everything else pretty much on my rack will be black. So that's one nitpick on this lineup, is they should have different anodized fronts, in my opinion. But anyway, I machined that off. You don't need to know that that's a headphone jack. You don't need to know that the volume to the left down is minimum and to the right is maximum. Used my mill. I cut out the top. That's one thing, if you're going to do this, you kind of have to have a mill if you want to do it right. And then I like the non-pro because you can feed it more voltage, and my experience with these devices, more voltage is oftentimes a better thing for driving the components. Again, 5 to 20. So I picked 9 volts, and I've got this power supply here, 9 volt, 2.5 amp. I actually broke it apart and put in a beefier barrel plug, pigtail, and also a specific length because I wanted good cable management when I get this all set up. But again, I think it sounds great. I got it for $32 Amazon warehouse. It was a return, used like new. But I think the retail of these guys, 40 bucks. The Pro, throw another 15. The Pro headphone, or the Pro with vacuum tube, maybe another 20. So they're not that expensive. Anyway, that's what I did. Hope you like it. Thanks for watching.